Hello. I had planned to be outside and I was just basically, I've got my coat on. You can see I've still got my coat on. I was walking outside and my signal kept going. So I thought I'd have to come back in. So I'm sitting upstairs in my bedroom, which isn't quite what I had planned. Doesn't seem like these do go very much to plan, these lives, do they? Anyway, I thought I'd talk today and the next 3 days about the three elements of mindfulness that I think that's really worked for me and that I want to teach everybody else, really, because I think they're all really important elements. And I think by breaking it down into the different elements, and there's loads of different bits within each element, it means you're much more likely to take up the practice of mindfulness and to reap the benefit, so to speak. So over the next 3 days, I'm going to talk about the different elements, the three different elements. The three elements are your mind, your body, and your connection with the world. So going to start with the body. The mindfulness of your body, it's kind of getting to know your body. Your body's like this wicked system of telling you what's going on. Outside, we know when it's hot, cold, all those sorts of things. When we're feeling poorly, our body sends us messages and lets us know. And it's very connected to our mind. So it's kind of like, like we was talking about things like stress before, when you get to know that when your body is telling you that you're stressed, sometimes before your head knows you are. So the body is absolutely superb when it comes to mindfulness. And in terms of just, we should all know what our bodies, know about our bodies and be connected to them. So mindfulness teaches a certain connection with our body. One, through the emotions that I've just mentioned. So when we're looking at, when we get connected to how our bodies feel when certain emotions are arising in us, it helps us, it's almost like a little flag that says, hey, this is how you're feeling, and gives you a moment to take in where you're heading with that emotion. It gives you choice about where you're going to head with that emotion as well. What the connection to your body also does, and it's something that I really ignored before. I just, when I wasn't particularly well, I literally thought I was falling apart. I would be at the doctor's constantly. I had aches, I had pains, my digestive system wasn't working properly, I had headaches, you name it, I had it or thought I had it. And obviously I was using the Google doctor quite a lot to diagnose myself. And in hindsight, there was just so many things. It was my body telling me to slow down, to stop, to pay attention, to rest, but I just couldn't recognise any of it. So mindfulness is about getting that connection back with your body, from an emotional perspective. We also, in mindfulness, you use your breath a lot. You've probably heard about that, breathing and feeling the breath going in and out of your body, and that leads into to meditation. And the breathing again gives us a connection to where we are now. So rather than in living up here in our heads, it draws us back into our bodies. So we'll do a little thing now. So just for a moment, just pay attention. Just focus on your breathing. You don't have to change your breathing. You don't have to take deep breaths. You don't have to slow down breathing. You don't have to count it. None of that. We're not doing any of that at the moment. All we're doing for now is just recognise what your breathing's like. Is it deep? Does it fill all the way up? Does it fill your tummy up? Is it shallow? Are you breathing in your chest mainly? Fast? slow. So you can do a little bit more of that after I've finished. Don't want to see me sit here listening to your breathing. So when you're doing that, it's not about changing your breathing. It's about just becoming aware of what your breathing's doing at any time. And again, getting used to doing that, especially when you're perhaps heading to a little bit of stress, or when you find yourself rushing around a little bit. If you could just stop for one moment, 30 seconds even, anything to start with. Just stop and notice your breathing. Don't need to change it, just notice it. And that's starting to get you connected back into your body and out of your head. There is another movement that's encouraged in mindfulness, which is the actual movement of your body. So, yoga would be a typical example that people would associate with people who do mindfulness, and they therefore do yoga. But it doesn't have to be the full downward dog, sun salutation kind of movement. Just simple movement is fine. Even walking, running, any movement that you enjoy doing. But where we do it, where it links to mindfulness, is about doing movement more consciously, being aware of what your body's doing, the position of your body when you walk, the muscles that are engaged when you stretch. And that's enough to start with. Obviously, if you're into yoga, you've probably understood that the more you your mind wanders when you're doing it, the sort of less able you are to do it, and the more you focus on your breath and on the movement you're doing, the more able you are to do it. So that's the sort of first element I wanted to cover, is movement. So movement is your body. So for the rest of the day, just be aware. Try that breathing thing we talked about. So just every now and again, focus on your breathing. Notice what your breathing's doing. And take a couple of things you do today and really focus on how your body moves, the muscles that are engaged when you're moving, and slow down the movements to start feeling that connection with your body again. And of course, when your emotions are running, or notice how your body is reacting in line with your emotions or what you're feeling. Over the coming weeks, we'll do much more of this, and in my groups we talk about that sort of thing, really go into it and actually practice doing it together. But for now, I just wanted to give you one of the elements of mindfulness that has absolutely had a massive impact for me. The more connected I am with my body, the more able I am to notice when things are not quite right. And I've also found things much more enjoyable, like yoga and walking and running and having a good stretch in the morning. So anyway, I'll be back tomorrow, and I'm going to talk about the a second element of mindfulness, which is about the mind. As my daughter says, whenever I talk to her about mindfulness, she says, mindfulness, the mind. So yes, tomorrow is about the mind. So hopefully I'll see you then. Have a nice afternoon. Bye.